The mighty Himalayas, nature in her element, the splendor of snowy peaks, Garhwal Himalayas, a fusion of high mountain valleys and lakes, of many streams and India's greatest rivers. Better known as Devbhumi, or the land of the gods, Uttarakhand comprises of the hills of Garhwal and Kumaon and has always been regarded as holy. For centuries, the pristine peaks, the confluences of sacred rivers, dense jungles and the icy remoteness of the Himalayas have beckoned people. These mountains have lured the adventurous. They have fascinated and bewildered the bottom. They have baffled the birdwater and flower. But above all, Uttarakhand is Devbhumi, the God's country, as the warm and hospitable people of this inhospitable terrain prefer to call their land. Dotted with popular temple pilgrimages and hilltop temples, the region holds a sacred place in the hearts of the Indian people. Thousands of pilgrims flock here to worship. Some come to find solitude, some for solace and redemption. Four of the holiest Hindu shrines in Uttarakhand, where pilgrim caravans call a halt annually, are Yamunotri, Gangotri, Kedarnath and Badrinath, otherwise known as the Char Dham, that is, the four abodes of God. Paying at least one visit in one's lifetime is a cherished dream of every Hindu. Situated in the Garhwal hills, which comprise of the districts of Uttarkashi, Tihri Garhwal, Pauri Garhwal, Dehradun and Chamoli, the dhams are visited by Hindus who undertake long and arduous journeys to go to these sacred places. This journey, or Yatra, considered almost mandatory for an ideal Hindu, is undertaken with great religious fervor and enthusiasm. In ancient times, the perils of the pilgrimage were formidable. The ancient pilgrim only had his walking stick and poor knowledge of the local terrain to make use of. But today, the Garhwal Himalayas are more accessible than ever before. Modern revolution in transport, road building, improved public utility services and organized tourism have enabled the willing to undertake this journey. Rising from the womb of the Himalayas, the Ganga and the Yamuna are the two most important rivers of India, arteries and lifeline of the nation. But the people's perception is different from the geographers. To the people, they are Gangaji and Yamunaji. They are looked upon with reverence as their fabled origin and associated legends have acquired an aura of sanctity. It is in Uttarkashi, a township on the banks of the Bhagirathi, that the pilgrims prepare themselves for their destinations to Yamunotri and Gangotri. About 180 kilometers from Haridwar and situated at an altitude of approximately 3,800 feet, Uttarkashi is famous for its historical temple of Vishwanath. It is said that Lord Shankar came here from Kashi, that is Varanasi, and therefore it came to be known as the Kashi of the North, or Uttarkashi. Now a temple town where the Nehru Institute of Mountaineering is located, Uttarkashi was earlier known as Barahat, Hat being the Garhwali equivalent of a marketplace. The name is a throwback to the time when Uttarkashi was a flourishing marketplace owing to its trade links with Tibet and other areas. It is here that the pilgrims prepare for their Yatra to Yamunotri. Following the meandering serpentine roads and passing Dharasu, Barkot and Hanuman Chatti, the pilgrim's progress in the Yamuna Tones Valley is an enchanting experience. Of mountain sceneries, breathtaking views of the surrounding snow-capped soaring peaks, miles and miles of lush green flora catch the pilgrim's eye. It is a sublime experience. The confluence of Hanumanga and Yamuna at Hanuman Chatti is a memory which the pilgrims will always hold dear to their hearts. Hiring ponies and porters or buses devotees and nature lovers arrive in hordes to catch a glimpse of the temple of Yamunaji. From the majestic Kalindi peak behind Bandar Poonch, meaning monkey's tail, originate waters of the Yamuna river. Many subsidiary torrents join the Yamuna and the river swells further. Here, few mortals can mock her fury. On the left bank of the river, at an approximate altitude of 3,300 meters, stands a temple dedicated to the goddess Yamuna. The hot water springs, issuing from ground cavities located nearby, are a natural, awe-inspiring wonder. Even when it snows here, the water remains boiling hot. Upon their arrival, the pilgrims refresh themselves by soaking in the pools formed by these hot water springs. Of all such pools, or kunds as they are otherwise known, Surya Kund is the most popular. The water is so hot that a handful of rice or some potatoes tied loosely in a piece of cloth and dipped in water get completely cooked within minutes. Some take it home as prasad. Near the Surya Kund, there is a rock called Divyashala which is worshipped before puja is offered to Yamunaji. A legend reveals the origin of this holy spot. The story goes that the wise sage Asit lived here. He would bathe daily in the Ganga, which was some miles away. As his age advanced, he found it difficult to go and bathe in the Ganga. Here was a problem. Hence a stream from the Ganga was diverted to flow past his tranquil hermitage. The Yamunotri Temple of goddess Yamuna marks the legendary ashram of sage Asit against the imposing backdrop of the massive 6,000 meters high Bandar Poonch peak. The township of Uttarkashi, the district headquarter, is also the base for another pilgrimage, the pilgrimage to Gangotri. A red-billed blue magpie sounds ecstatic shrill notes as the pilgrims get ready for their departure. He would be joining them too. The route through the Bhagirathi valley is indeed after a trekker's heart. Winding their way through Maneri, Bhatwari, Sukhi and Harsil, the pilgrims arrive at Gangotri. The sight of thousands of pilgrims and tourists is an eloquent testimony to their indomitable spirit and a tribute to the sacred river. The temple at Gangotri, dedicated to the goddess Ganga, is situated at an altitude of about 3,000 meters. This shrine of Bhagirathi was erected by Amar Singh Thapa, a Gurkha commander in the 18th century.
Bhagirathi kripa sindhu bhavani bhavanashini sagara swargadashya.
Chants, prayers, hymns and music fill the air from dawn to dusk. Throughout the season from May to October, when the doors of the temple are thrown open to visitors. The all-pervasive fragrance of burnt juniper which envelops this mystical place invites pilgrims' curiosity about various myths and legends associated with Gangotri. The story goes that the 60,000 sons of the all-powerful king Sagar disturbed sage Kapil while he was in deep meditation. This offended the sage. The unfortunate sons incurred the wrath of the sage, who turned the misguided princes into ashes with just one gaze. It was left to another descendant of the royal family, Bhagirath, to appease Brahma with his intense devotion. Raja Bhagirath besieged the goddess Ganga to come to earth. After a lot of trials and tribulations, Ganga finally descended to earth and flowed over the ashes of Sagar's sons, who then came back to life. From Gangotri, the Bhagirathi flows in a northwestwardly direction, that is Uttar, and therefore the place is known as Gangotri. At Gangotri, Ganga is known as Bhagirathi. Strictly speaking, only at and after the confluence of Bhagirathi and Alaknanda at Devprayag, it is called Ganga. Mostly pandas or priests, shopkeepers, yogis and sannyasis reside at Gangotri. The tiny village of Gangotri is full of giant deodars and conifers. The real source of the Ganga is the glacier Gaumukh, named after its wondrous resemblance to a cow's mouth. Young children, the old and infirm, and those unwilling to take the strenuous journey of 18 kilometers to Gaumukh depart from Gangotri, while the more adventurous and the enthusiastic proceed further. The area beyond Gangotri is truly grand, a trail that leads to the high Himalayas. The caravan passes through Bhojvasa before it reaches Gaumukh. The Gaumukh Glacier is the ice altar of the holy Ganga, from where the newborn river comes gushing out. Here, Ganga is a fierce mountain river, a tempestuous fury which comes hurtling down over cliffs and rocks. Both Bhojvasa, en route to Gaumukh, and Tapovan, an ideal camping ground for expeditions to Shivling, are a veritable treat to the eye. One encounters nature's bounty at its best. There is much to admire. Bhojvasa Crags. Shimmering, snowy peaks like the Shivling and the Bhagirathi sisters. The rhododendrons. The juniper bushes. The blue sheep, or bharal, as they are called in Garhwali. treacherous crevices. Carpeted mountain slopes, acres and acres of moraine, that is debris carried down and deposited by the glacier. Flower-spangled valleys spreading a filigree of color and fragrance. Vast uninhabited areas of unrivaled beauty. Retreats of sages and saints, glimpses of frozen streams holding the native flora in a cold embrace. No wonder they call it Devbhumi. But the sublime beauty of this Devbhumi is slowly being spoiled. Various factors and forces have begun to degrade the environment. The soaring griffon vulture has witnessed the destruction. Even higher elevations of the Himalayas have suffered damages with grave repercussions of the functioning of the Gangotri ecosystem. A case in point is the extensive uprooting of junipers and roots of other plants for their use in the perfume industry. Bharals, or the blue sheep, have been forced to migrate following a large-scale uprooting of these roots and bushes, which are the bharals' main diet. This in turn has led to an imbalance in the food chain, as the elusive snow leopards are known to feast on bharals. Further damage to junipers could have a ruinous impact on the entire local food chain. There are only a few, both amongst the visitors and the locals, who know how to be environment friendly. But the scenario seems to be changing now. Efforts are afoot to initiate measures for checking this reckless damage to environment. Damage and destruction that could lead to a catastrophe of astronomical proportions. Specialists have emphasized the need to promote ecotourism in a manner which promotes and enhances man's interaction with nature without having an adverse impact on the latter. The Gangotri Special Area Development Authority was conceived as a way out.
The Gangotri area is environmentally fragile. The state government has set up the Gangotri Vikas Pradhikaran, which is also known as the Special Area Development Authority, with a view to developing the area in consonance with environmental protection. The idea is that this Special Area Development Authority should frame an action plan in such a way that tourist facilities and facilities for pilgrims are not neglected, but at the same time there is no ecological fallout, dangerous ecological fallout of these also.
Hopefully, the exalted beauty of the Garhwal Himalayas will remain unblemished. Hopefully, the pilgrim's progress will proceed with the same fun and gaiety as in the past. Gangotri and Yamunotri, two splendid Himalayan symphonies, the spirit and the adventure of it all, the myths and the legends. It's more magnificent than you can imagine.